Are y'all going to the movie?
Uh-huh.
Great. I'm Lolita, and this here's Tanqueray. Can we be your dates?
You mean like sit with us and stuff? Yeah.
Oh my God.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's who we love and that's who we serve. You're on Innervision FM. Welcome to the Innervision FM universe. I'm Alan C. Got Johnnie J in the house. And you're on InnervisionFM.com. Today is November 30th, 2022.
Hi, everybody. This is Godfather Soul James Brown. I tell you, this business is on. My man is on. Check him out. This is the Godfather Soul James Brown. And stay with it and get it.
Oh man, what a day! What a day! I am excited for some strange reason. It's what 15 degrees. 15 degrees. Our high today would be 30. And cold weather and me, I don't know. Cold weather and me, it just doesn't mix. But it is what it is, and this is what we have.
You know, it was -2 here in Greeley, Colorado, in the northern portion of Colorado. It was kind of cold this morning, and I got to tell you, I got to agree, as I get older, my bones sing their joy to the Lord, let me tell you.
Oh man, yeah, and you're a braver guy than I am. I tell you. And I was not like I say, I don't like extreme heat either, or I would move to Phoenix, Arizona. So I don't know. It is what it is. So let's thank our sponsors, which is what is it? Denver, Denver Foundation, Wells Fargo, Christian Brothers Moving Company, Dr. Richard Damiano. Oh, hey, thank you for that, for your 13 operations that gave me 20 over 30 vision overnight. Yes, we have PayPal, right, Alan? Yeah, PayPal.
PayPal.me/Innervision Denver.
Yes. All right, so we have a lot of topics today. We sent those topics out to our Zoom list, but for those people who don't know the topics, we're talking about the constitutional freedom of speech, which Elon Musk is going to bring into the forefront, and we're going to talk about the 16th Amendment to the Constitution concerning income taxes that was invoked 1909, and about this so-called Respect for Marriage Act, which whenever Democrats are respecting anything, there's just the opposite. And we're going to talk about that as well. And don't forget, if you haven't seen the movie Uncle Tom 2, check it out. If you haven't seen the 2000 Mules, check that out. And React for the jab, that as well.
React19.org.
Yes. So where should we stop?
Well, let's run down the let's see. So you got Elon Musk. He's got free speech. Will it be on the chopping block? He's in a little bit of a war with Apple currently, and we'll just see how that pans out.
No, but the last time they were in a thing was over. It was Parler, and Parler wasn't a billionaire. So
that's right.
So now we got more of a, not a Goliath and David match, but it's more of a but let's save that one for last. I want to get to that one. Let's let people, and we want you to subscribe. Thumbs up, everybody hit the thumbs up. and it helps our algorithm. And leave comments, come on, because sometimes we get a lot of like people liking the show, but we don't get that many comments. So do like you did with Herschel Walker, and that was the most comments that we ever had in a long time.
Wow.
About a month ago. So come on, leave those comments, because we definitely want you to have your free speech here on Innervision FM.
Speaking of free speech, then let's just take the bull by the horns. We'll talk about this so-called Respect for Marriage Act.
Yeah.
Want to give a quick shout out to folks that have voted for this.
Whoa.
Let's see
Whoa.
here. Let's go to Susan Collins. Shout out to Susan Collins, a number 1 rhino on the list. We got Mitt Romney, number 2, Rob Portnoy, and Tom Tillis. They are in the top 4 of the 12 Republican senators that went ahead and that are in support of this Respect for Marriage Act.
And you can't forget the big rhino of all, Mitt Romney, the pretty boy.
Yeah.
So let's round it off to 5.
I already covered Mitt Romney. He was number 2.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Man, I guess
we
I was
twice. He's so important that we counted him twice.
yeah. Okay. All right. Got you. Yeah. So these 12 rhinos are down, and I don't even know if they should even be called Republicans. They just should put on, they're the wolves in sheep clothing. And as I get to know more and more about politics, I don't know all the players, but when I do get these names, I like to write them down so I can put a check mark in my mind about who are the people that are against America, who are the people that are on this global spin, and what they have done, ladies and gentlemen, over the last I would say 100 years, but even fast track it into the last 50 years, they've been slowly putting themselves in positions with entertainment, with the news media in Congress. We got that Omar anti-Semitic person in Congress, and we got others that are anti-Semitic in Congress as well. So they've been slowly moving into the infrastructure of our what does they call it? Not traditions. It's called something else. I forgot what it's called, but it's called institutions. They've been slowly moving their way into our institutions so they can effect their will. And they even got us believing that ozone is bad. And then we got these guys that are vegetarians that they're just as dumb as anybody, thinking that ozone is bad, but ozone is what feed the plants that you eat, you idiots. So
ozone and carbon dioxide are things that are definitely under attack. They're absolutely right. They're half right. Ground-based ozone can't be really all that great for us as a species. You want that stuff to be surrounding the Earth to kind of protect us against cosmic radiation. But
maybe
as far as
maybe a carbon dioxide.
As far as carbon dioxide, we need that stuff. That's what they call CO2.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, so they call carbon dioxide CO2 on the periodic table for those that are scientifically minded. It's the stuff that we, as all animals, breathe out. And of course, the plants need this for living. So we're talking about geosocial engineering, this kind of stuff geosolar engineering, which is well, between the two of them, we're in a rough spot, but I'm very optimistic because with this geosocial engineering, they are indeed showing us what their true colors are, which leads us to the geosolar engineering, which they want to use to block the solar radiation from coming into the atmosphere. They also want to use carbon dioxide scrubbers
Mm.
and all kinds of stuff to get rid of harmful things within our atmosphere.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, if you get rid of carbon dioxide and you block the sun from shining, well, there's not going to be much in the way of plant life.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
all you folks that are vegetarians and all of us folks who are meat eaters that depend upon the animals that eat vegetables for our food, we're all going to be affected, folks.
Hmm.
And so that's really where we're at. I mean, if you think about this logically and scientifically, and if you do indeed understand that you need to trust the science, well, then think about this kind of stuff.
Yeah, so they infiltrated the science industry, and they're flip-flopping that. Let's get back. So now they're getting into this marriage thing. Now I don't mind about civil marriage type of thing, because civil just means that you have rights to, if you're a lover or you're a same-sex person, you can go and in the hospital, and you can be, you're a part of that unit, right? But marriage is for what I have known it to be, it's to appropriate, to have children and populate the earth, because it takes two parents, yin and yang, to raise a child. And we've already tried over the last 50 years that experiment where single moms thinking that they can be the man and the woman, trying to say that we don't need a man to raise a boy. And now you see the results of all these out of control criminal thugs running around thinking that manhood is something that is not. And so this supposedly respect for marriage act, saying that it's protecting interracial marriage, and how can you be against that? Well, they didn't pass the so-called lynching thing, and they put Tubman name, the boy that was lynched back in 1955, they put it in there, but it wasn't really for lynching. It was to put more rights in for the LGBTQ rather than the lynching thing. So that's why they decided Woodrow Wilson wouldn't do it back in his day when he was a president. He was a Democratic president. When Dave Chappelle, great grandfather, came to him with some other ministers, said, "Hey, could you put it into law?" And then they moved it forward. So now this marriage thing, I know I go like back and forth, so just follow my lead. Now this marriage thing, they want to say, Democrats, we respect marriage. Democrats don't even respect children, because if they can say that you could kill a child up to the time it's born, there's no respect for children. How can they have any kind of respect for marriage? This, ladies and gentlemen, is just their attempt to, the guy that makes cakes here, and I forgot his name, and didn't want to bake a cake representing a union between two men because it went against his religion. And then the lady who didn't want to put on her website the supporting, union between two girls and two guys. This will now force them through the lower courts. That's what's part of this bill, force them, so there can be no religious exemption.
Shout to Jack Phillips, who was the cake maker that we're talking about here in Colorado. Years ago, he had, for those that are unaware, years ago, he had decided that because a couple who had entered his cake making business wanted a cake made, they happened to be a gay couple. Mm-hmm. So these two guys entered in and asked him to make a cake. And he said, well, I understand. Here's some recommendations. There's some folks over here down the street or whatever. He gave him a recommendation of mm-hmm. where to go. And he said, I can't do it because of my religious beliefs. Mm-hmm. Eventually, this particular case went all the way to the Supreme Court. And fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, he was encouraged very strongly to go ahead and throw away his religious beliefs. And he is now, well, by law, legally encouraged to have to make these cakes for individuals who happen to be of the same sex. Now, let's break this down, folks. Marriage as an institution has been around since our beginning. And there are many of us that believe, in fact, I believe, that there is a God in heaven. He's our creator. That's who we love. That's who we serve. That's why, honestly, I say the things that I say when we open up the show, because that's where my allegiance lies. And, that's where we are with regard to that standpoint. I will say that with regard to the Defense of Marriage Act passed in 1996, that was passed by all of Congress and was adopted. It was called the Defense of Marriage Act. You can look this up. It was between one man, one woman. Now, here's where I'm stuck. I believe that marriage, being an institution, should be between whomever, whether it be a man and a woman, whether it be, because I'm in the entertainment business, I do understand that, not all people believe the same way that I believe. So I want to be tolerant. I want to be open-minded. And I also want to bring the truth of the gospel to everybody. So, in the fact that two men or two women or whatever, they want to get married, or transgender folks, they want to get married and this kind of thing. Whatever, what you do in your bedroom is what you do in your bedroom. I don't believe that the federal government should be involved in the institution of marriage at all. In fact, there are examples within the United States Constitution that can speak directly to that, where, the only way that the federal government might want to be involved in marriage at all would be to regulate assets and property passed on to children. So, that's really the extent of the involvement that I believe should be the purview of the federal government. But beyond that, we should, in my mind, not be placing additional restrictions on marriage like this, where we are forced to throw away our personal beliefs about marriage between a man and a woman being the only way. So basically, I understand where the short story long, I understand where the LGBTQI, the alphabet stuff plus, where they're at with it. I understand. And I want to be open-minded, but yet I demand that same type of respect be given back to us. If we are going to have to respect your wishes, then I demand personally, Alan Colvin will stake my life, my honor, and my fortune on this belief. I mean, they can come and get me for it. But the bottom line here is this. The federal government should not be involved in the institution of marriage at all. Here's where we're stuck. It is involved, and it is the way it is. So, we have to roll with it.
Yeah.
But
Now, okay,
go ahead.
Let's get past this. It's a fake law. It's just to restrict Christians and others that believe that marriage is between a man and woman, and other businesses that they don't want to go against their religious belief. This is all crazy. So when these 12 Republicans, and those Democrats stand up saying that this is for marriage, they're all liars. Let's go
So
down.
to wrap this up, just basically, the idea being, call your congressman, let them know about how you feel about it, and be respectful. be peaceful, and be nice about the thing. We all are united on this planet as human beings.
Okay, let's get down to this 60th Amendment. And like I said, I was looking in some of my past notes about like show ideas, and this went back to 2017, February of 2017. I guess I was watching this TV show. No, maybe it was a YouTube thing, and I didn't really think about income. Well, like, you know, whenever I'm in Texas, I understand that Texas and Florida doesn't charge income tax to the general populace, and the liar Polis, the governor here, said that he was considering it. He's a liar, and the truth is never in a person like him. But I guess in the 16th Amendment, Constitutional Amendment, that it said that it overturned one decision of the Supreme Court to put in this one, saying that you can charge income tax regardless of what the census says about the population density of that community. Am I getting that kind of right, or is there more to it?
16th Amendment, without actually looking at the text, man, I wish I had the text up here, but the bottom line here is that taxes are what we had a revolution over. And the taxes which we incur nowadays are way over and above what sparked our American founding, because of the tea and because of some of the other stuff that was going down. The bottom line is the tea tax was a 2% increase in tax on tea. And that really made a bunch of other people mad with regard to our founding of our country. We tried to do things peacefully, and we tried to write letters to the king back in the day, trying to explain this to them. No, we as subjects to the crown, as colonists, don't want to be living under this type of tyrannical rule. So we founded a country. And we had a revolution, and that was to protect freedom of speech. That was to protect freedom of religion. That was also to protect us from being overtaxed without some sort of representation. So taxation without representation of why these taxes are needed or what they're going to go for was really near and dear to the hearts of the founders and the framers of this country. So honestly, folks, we have gotten far, far beyond what the founders and framers had envisioned. We're taxed for everything from internet sales to sales on any sort of merchant purchase that we'll make in a brick and mortar business, to taxes that deal with other regulatory agencies. And folks, we are actually paying federal income tax that eats up well over a third of our income if we are a W-2 employee. So, you know, generally, I mean, you're paying somewhere between 30 and 36% just in taxes before you even take home your money. And so, you know, this is really a place where if you put an additional 15% on international goods and services that are offered throughout the world, you place that upon the American people to where they can't even make a living, and to where now half of the money is going towards taxes. That really kind of puts a cramp in our style. But more than that, we have no idea where those taxes are going. We have no idea how that money that is being obtained from the American people, where that's being spent. And now we have 87,000 new IRS agents being hired over the next, 10 years to ensure that we are good little
Yeah.
citizens and
And-
pay the taxes.
And those 12 Rhino Republicans, because they said like we're going to have another balance in the Senate with Republicans, another balance in the House. Those 12, if not more, believe me, they're going to stop them from defunding those IRS people. As if, because everybody's jumping in front of the camera saying, yeah, we're going to defund it we're going to do this and that. We'll see, because when we had the Republicans in power in 2010, they didn't do nothing. We had them in power when Trump was there, and they even stopped him from doing things while they were on vacation, right? Where it was like the president could do these things, but then they put in things to stop him from doing things, because, ladies and gentlemen, it's all a part of these globalists' plan to infiltrate all of our these places, and to fundamentally change the United States of America. And that's straight out of the mouth of the biggest bandito, Biden, and only seconded by Brandon, that's who is installed in the White House at this moment. So, ladies, let's not be deceived. And even though me and Alan, we're blind, we're not blindsided. And
That's right. A lot of folks, this always gets under my skin, but they're like, you might be blind, but you see a lot more than other people. And I don't know. I mean, I thank people for that backhanded compliment, as it were. But, well, I mean, this is how I live. This is what I do for a living, is study these laws, study these rules, study these procedures, and try my very best to hold them up against the scripture and see if it does the acid test, see if it does a litmus test, see if it washes with what is written within the Bible, because we are a Judeo-Christian nation. And that doesn't mean that everybody has to practice our, quote, religion. It just means that our legislation is based upon Judeo-Christian values.
And speaking of Christian values, we're reading Timothy, 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 7 through 10, and it talks about the love of money. I don't know if you have your Bible there, but it talks about the I guess the love of money being the root of evil, and then it causes people sometimes to do foolish things in their pursuit of getting a lot of money. And I never thought of it. Well, I guess I sort of thought about that, because when these banditos come and they say, well, if you go down to Walmart and get put so much money on this card, then I'll give you so much money if you give us this much money. And it's like a total scam. But you're thinking like, oh man, I can get all this money if I just give them this much, and you end up getting zero.
So it starts this way in verse 7 of 1 Timothy chapter 6. So it says, for we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can never carry nothing out.
Yes.
Actually, that's a double negative. I'm sorry. For it is certain we can carry nothing out. Sorry, I put never in there.
Yeah.
We having food and raiment, which is clothing, let us be therefore content. It goes on to say, but they that will be rich fall into the temptation and a snare, which is a trap, and into the many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition, which is multiple sin created and propagated and allowed to keep going. It goes on in verse 10, for the love of money is the root of all evil. And the reason why I bring that up is a lot of people get that particular quote wrong. Money itself isn't evil. It's the love of money that really gets us into trouble. It continues, which while some covet after they erred from the faith and perceived themselves through their many sorrows. Basically, there's a mistake that can be made when you're chasing your dream to attribute it to money. If I just have enough of this, meaning money, then I'll be okay. I'll be happy. And that's just not the case. You can have $1 million in the bank or $1 billion in the bank. And if you have an open hand, then you'll give it away. You'll help other people out. You'll be a philanthropist. If, however, it's a situation where you want to make money for yourself or for other close-knit friends of yours, but only for a small group, that love of money has the potential to really bring on some hard times ahead. If you have an open hand when you're poor, you're going to have an open hand when you're rich. If you have a closed hand when you're poor and you refuse to help out your friend, your neighbor, your community, your family, then when you become rich, the potential exists for you to not want to help out anybody. Or if you help out folks, they're not just your friends, they're not just your family. They're only a small group of individuals that will enrich yourself. And selfishness and money go hand in hand sometimes.
I got to tell you this it's kind of like a anecdote. So this lady, she was married to a very rich man. And he said in a very stern voice, when I die, I want all my money in the box with me. And she said, I want you to promise that you're going to put all my money in the box with me when I die. Now, of course, he's not thinking about, well, what is she going to live off of or whatever. So the day came and he died. And so they're carrying his coffin, they put it there and they're viewing it and stuff like that. And then she goes up to the casket and she says a few things, and then she slips something into his
Looks like I lost you, Johnny. Well, that's interesting. Looks like I lost you. I'll go ahead and leave. Well, it looks like to me, folks, we may have lost the stream. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment down below if I'm still broadcasting. Love to end the broadcast this way. It's the miracle of modern technology. So everybody have themselves a great day and also a great weekend. And join us next week, same bat time, same bat channel on the DBInnervisionFM universe.